Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
What do you mean I don't believe in God? Talk to him every day. What do you mean I don't support your system? I go to court when I have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It is Tuesday, the 28th day of September 2010. Coming up, NATO choppers cross into Pakistan chasing insurgents. CNN reports, Wall Street Journal, drones target terror plot, accelerate attacks inside Pakistan. Of course, you know about the good news that was announced last week. Italy to abandon airport naked body scanners. But Big Brother is fighting back. It's part of a global governance continuity of agenda. Big Sis tries to force body scanners on other countries amidst backlash. Got to make sure the Chertoff Group and the naked body scanner companies make billions. They're trying to force 190 nations to adopt the naked body scanners, reports USA Today. We're going to be breaking that down. Also, huge attacks on the internet after Israel reportedly launched the worm attack on Iran last weekend. Here's the LA Times headline, U.S. should be able to shut internet down, former CIA chief says. Mr. Hayden, they're just out in the open. Here's another headline that got Drudge linked by Paul Joseph Watson at prisonplanet.com. New cybersecurity bill gives Obama power to shut down companies. Been reporting on this for months, but it's finally getting attention. It says they can take over any companies they want and make all IT professionals be federally certified. And they make you take a national security clearance so they can have gag orders on you. That's why they're making 11,000 TSA workers get high-level security clearances, so they can also feed them disinformation and fake news to scare them. And so they can also then not let the public know the propaganda that they're pipelining to them. But more importantly, so they can make all their abusive activities secret under national security. Anti-net neutrality bill gets leaked from Waxman's office. It's basically a mirror of the, quote, secret global treaty the U.S. is trying to get ratified right now. And Federal News Radio's reporting Cyberstorm 3 uses internet to attack itself. So they're wargaming how to bring down the internet in the name of protecting it, and you know who'll be the ones that bring it down. We're going to be going over all of this coming up. That's just some of the news and information that we have here. Who is watching you? 9 industries that know your every move. This is a report out of Daily Finance that we're going to be going over. Because remember that headline a few weeks ago where Google says they've acquired a software company with Pentagon connections that can, quote, predict the future by tracking your every move? Well, that's what they're announcing. The headline was exclusive. Google, CIA invest in future of web monitoring. And it continues. It says the investment arm of the CIA and Google are both backing a company that monitors the web in real time and says it can use that information to predict the future. Wired Magazine. Now, that's from a few weeks ago, or July 28th, actually a few months ago. Here is the Buffalo News today. Technology identifies troubled individuals, and it admits that law enforcement's now having access to basically everything you do in real time, just no pretense of a Fourth Amendment. And that it, quote, can predict your crimes before you supposedly commit them. And, of course, this technology is a fraud, and we've caught them many times planting blood samples on people, planting DNA evidence on individuals, faking fingerprints for decades. That technology has been available. And, of course, now lie detector tests are inadmissible in court because they've been proven to be a fraud. So they're moving from that old-fashioned fraud and quackery to high-tech fraud. So that's going to be coming up. Also, cops charge open carry activist in Wisconsin who didn't commit a crime. But the system doesn't care. They say, we don't care. We're still going to charge you, give you open carry, and try to demonstrate that your rights are inalienable. But the police tried the same thing in Maryland. This is out of the Associated Press. Wiretap charges tossed in videotaping of trooper. So that is coming up. But the scary issue here is the police on every front, at least their commanders on every front, are showing their anti-free speech, anti-First Amendment, anti-press, anti-Bill of Rights. And it's very scary that they'll arrest people exercising their Second Amendment lawfully and say, we don't care. Or they'll arrest people in 14 states and charge them with felonies for videotaping police, in some cases in their own homes. That's citizens in their own homes or citizens in their own businesses. I've seen cases where the police will raid a business, in one case a health food store, and then the store put on YouTube surveillance camera footage from the raid, and they indicted them. This is amazing. This is incredible that the police know full well this is not wiretapping. They know full well, but they still charge you with it. Wiretapping is going over to somebody's telephone box and hooking a recorder onto it and recording their conversations without a warrant. And the police can get in trouble for that. It's a felony. General citizens can. Wiretapping is planting a camera in your ex-girlfriend's apartment. You see those cases all the time. Wiretapping or spying on someone or violating their privacy is climbing over their back fence and watching them through their window. That's called prowling. And it's that body of law. It's getting in someone's private area or private communications. All right. We take you now to downtown Austin at the University of Texas. They're right up there at the picket line to give you a quick report on this. Police on scene of shooting on UT campus. A gunman who fired several shots on the University of Texas campus in the library is dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, and police are looking for a possible second suspect, officials say. First, it was a second gunman to just shut down UT and say, don't leave your homes, don't be down there. They're down there trying to tell people they can't even walk on the street. And this shooting happened 4 hours ago, 4+ hours ago right now. And so they've got much of UT shut down. Armored vehicles are down there, you name it. And just as a matter of course, they're just saying they think there could be a second gunman. Now it's a second suspect. And so we'll definitely learn more as this unfolds. But thank God more people weren't hurt. The only person hurt reportedly was the alleged shooter. And I take you now to Matt Ryan and Jason Douglas, who are on the street reporting for Infowars.com to give us a in-person view of what's going on down there at the University of Texas at Austin. Matt Ryan, what's happening?
Oh, right now there's a lot of confusion down here. Police still reportedly trying to sort out what happened. The gun is apparently been identified as an AK-47, which is the standard assault rifle. We currently have helicopters flying overhead. I've seen SWAT teams going back and forth with hounds, apparently trying to sniff out somebody, if anybody. They're trying to evacuate the entire area. There's been sirens going off constantly with warnings from the police to evacuate immediately. And beyond that, they're just waiting to determine if there even is a second shooter. There's a lot of confusion regarding
Did the police, Matt Ryan, try to tell you to leave?
Not at this time. We showed up, we asked for the press staging area, and they were nice enough to allow us the permission to report on the story.
They were nice enough to allow you? Because you have a First Amendment right. I mean, you couldn't be in the library right now, but in the past they would just put up crime scene tape, 30 feet in front of it, and that was basically the common law upheld in court. But now they've reportedly pushed people back over a mile, correct?
Correct, on either side, actually. I'm hearing a lot of chitter-chatter between different reporters. They're having trouble setting up staging areas. The boundaries, and that's pretty far as the boundaries for press. And if you're a regular citizen, not identifying yourself as a press, it's even further.
Well, I just want to say, I mean, we're glad they're not violating your First Amendment, but I wouldn't say they're really allowing you to do this. My issue is, we know the Russians have been caught staging shootings at schools as a pretext to crack down. Columbine, very suspicious. A lot of evidence that was a staged event, according to witnesses and a lot of intel. And over 120 propane bombs were brought in that morning beforehand, CBS News reported, but all of that got shut down. The school was more than half empty that day because word had been given that the shooting was going to happen. Harris and Kleinbold had made a school-sponsored video about a mass shooting, at the school, and I find it very suspicious that they've locked everything down. And, this could have been part of a drill. We don't know. And we know they have had many unannounced drills at private businesses, public schools, secondary schools, college, high school. So I find this new trend of pushing people back. The news is reporting over a mile. Will really allow them to cover up what's happening. We see the news reports of armored vehicles down there. Technically, do you know exactly how far they've pushed people back for this show of force circus?
Again, with all the confusion, I know a lot of reporters are having trouble actually getting word to their stations of exactly where the staging grounds are set up. They either keep moving them or keep pushing them back. But one thing I did find interesting is this all started around 8:28 a.m. with the first report of a shooter in the library. Within a half hour, the report was that the shooter had shot themselves. There might be a second shooter, and it's because of that supposed second shooter that everything's been locked down for so long. Helicopters are just constantly circling overhead, looking for a shooter that is possibly long gone by now.
Well, I mean, let's remember that with Charles Whitman in 1966, that, he killed a lot of people and then himself was taken out by Austin police officers, that UT really was one of the first places in modern history where we've seen these type of mass shootings take place. So this is a real sore spot, a painful spot for UT alumni, UT students, and Austinites. Stay there, Matt Ryan. I want to get more from you on the scene of this shooter who fired his weapon reportedly and then took his own life. Find it very unusual that no one else was wounded. This thing stinks to high heaven. The way they've got this locked down, it's very suspicious.